where to start. For example, if I'm an expert and I have ideas that I believe are really interesting, unique. I don't have much experience at speaking at the stage, but I would like to get to the TEDx stage. Where should I start?
So first of all, you should make sure that you have an idea, because TEDx is about ideas worth spreading. And very often I'm getting contacted by speaker candidates and they say that I would like to speak at your event. I am an amazing speaker. I'm a book author. I'm this and that. And they are starting speaking about themselves, how great they are. And after this, I'm asking, so, okay, great. So what is your idea? And very often at this point, people say something like, oh, I can speak about anything. What is the topic of your event? I can speak about this or that or that. Choose, what do you want to hear? And then we don't accept such speakers, because this is not this type of event. TEDx is not this type of event where we just take professional speakers to entertain the audience. So this is not about this. It's about ideas worth spreading. So we are starting our organizing our events by brainstorming what kind of ideas are needed for our local community this year, during this period of time. And then we have the list of ideas, and then we are trying to find people who would say something new and something innovative about those ideas. Very often people just come to us with great ideas we never thought of before, and then we also accept such ideas, and unexpected ideas. Very often we do this. So first of all, you start with this. So if you are an expert in a certain field, and I'm sure that we have a lot of experts here on this webinar, and we also introduced ourselves in the beginning that we are experts in certain fields. If you are an expert, it does not mean that you have an amazing, interesting new idea in a certain field. So very often I'm thinking about myself. I'm organizing TEDx for 7 years now, and I'm thinking, if I would be asked to speak, would I be able to find something new? Because if whether I'm doing something completely new that no one did before. So those are the main things to think about in the beginning. What is my idea? Is it new? Was it not shared before? And also, is it relevant for the local audience? Where do I want to speak about this idea? So those are the main things to start with if you want to start with TEDx.
Okay. And Elena, one question, because when we look at like the most watched TED Talks, there were like Simon Sinek or Brené Brown or other people who are known in their field already. So it doesn't prevent us, if we're an expert and we talk or visible around certain area of knowledge, it's not preventing us to go to TED, right? So what would be this maybe filter you put about the novelty of ideas? If you take Sinek, for example, I'm pretty sure he was around those topics before, how he was selected, for example.
Yeah, so of course, very often ideas that are presented, that they are not 100% new. Yeah, so it is important to reinvent the wheel over and over again. Every year we have a certain percentage of ideas that, okay, we knew about this, but the way how this idea is presented, or the story of a person who is sharing this idea, or credibility of this person. Maybe this person was researching this topic for many years. Those types of ideas, they are also kind of new. So for example, if we are talking about Simon Sinek, what he did is he told about something that is obvious, that okay, everyone knew about this, but he presented in such a simple way and in his own personal way, with stories, with storytelling and so on, that we started thinking about it. And now when we're thinking about starting with why, we're thinking Simon Sinek. So this is the power of TEDx ideas. So we can also have something that is well known, but presented in a different manner, in an innovative manner.
Mm-hmm. So it's not about like the subject matter sometimes, but the format, the storytelling, and maybe the importance for the audience and the impact this story may have on people's life or way of thinking. That's what we call actually thought leadership, right? So when you are in the position, when you transform your expertise and rethink it in a way that you're impacting others with that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. And maybe just one short question. So how to approach the organizers and pitch the idea? Can you give just maybe some brief tips on how to do that really?
Well, it depends who is the organizer. For me, for example, in the beginning, when I started organizing TEDx events, when someone wrote to me a personal message, I was flattered. I answered, and sometimes I would have a coffee with a person in Starbucks, and we would talk about the idea and we would discuss. But then when I kind of scaled my TEDx activity, and currently I'm organizing really big events, and I have a lot of speaker candidates. And when people are writing to me on LinkedIn over and over again, hi, I want to be a TEDx speaker. Oh, I just wanted to remind you that I wanted to be a speaker. And, I have more and more of these messages. And of course, this is not so efficient anymore. For sure, 100% what would get to the curation team, because, if someone writes to me on LinkedIn, very often I want to answer, but for example, I'm in the middle of the meetings and so on. And this idea, even if it is great, it stays somewhere. And then if the person does not go back to me after some time, this idea does not go to our speakers team, to our curation team. So what would be the most effective is to find the application form, because all events, they release the application form once a year for sure. Because if the event, for example, my event will be the end of the year, kind of end November, beginning of December, we are going to release our application form next month or so. And then we already have some candidates. We will do this additional applications. And then we are starting working with speakers, and we don't accept applications anymore. So there is this period of time, couple of months, when you can apply for each event, and you would want to make your research and see when are the events in your area, in your city, in your country, when is the date of the event, and when do they usually release their application form. You can easily go to their Facebook pages and see how they were communicating. You can also write to the event email address or Facebook page and ask them a question like, when are you starting to look for the speakers? And I'm sure that if the event is active, then they will answer you. You can check active events on TED.com website, because many events, they closed down due to pandemic situation. Not all events moved online and handled the pressure of all this online situation. and many events are not active currently. So you would want to go online to see what events are active and are going to take place in the next year, and write to them and ask them what is the best way to send my idea over.